the sort of nice title for the theme was Hark the Glad Sound, which of course turns my crank. That's a wonderful hymn out of the Scandinavian tradition, so that pleased me. But I think we were trying to address the issues of evangelism in many disparate kinds of ways. This is something that's a concern, I think, across Christendom right now. And so as folks coming to wrestle with this issue, we had a lot more previous thinking time, thinking experience, and so we sort of hit the ground running.
The theme for this year is Hark the Glad Sound, and sometimes I think as churches, as ministers, we feel that we're the ones that are making the glad sound for other people to hear. But I think that this was a moment for the project of the larger week that listening to the glad sound of others and also listening to the not-so-glad sound is part of the project of evangelism and revitalization within the church.
It was immediately evident that every church wanted to connect with their community and that every church had a great joy that they wanted to share. And it was exciting that every single church here loved the arts and just felt that we would do anything to share the love of God, and that means dance, and it means music, and it means painting and drama, and to be surrounded by people that take that seriously was great.
For once, it's a conference I've gone to where everyone wasn't like, the church is dying, what are we gonna do to save it? And I'm just so tired of being in that kind of an environment that's depressing and life-sucking. So to be here with people who are excited about the church and who really want to proclaim the good news was refreshing. It was a continual process of joining the dots that created this beautiful picture, a picture of the proclaiming the good news out in the world in a different way.
As a pastor and person who thinks about activities and programs and preaching, to be in conversation with musicians all week was really surprising, and to see the depth of their understanding of how you reach out to people, embrace them, incorporate them into the gospel in new ways. There were not things that I thought, oh, that's going to benefit me so much in my daily life, but I really learned a lot from that, and how all of these different disciplines go into crafting what worship is and what Christianity is for the publics around us.
Well, I think, honestly, the whole idea of harking the glad sound and, evangelism frightens a lot of folk, because they think that, this is going to be an extension of crusades and revivals and handing out tracts and telling people to come to Jesus and get saved and turn from your wicked ways. But it was very enlightening to see how that theme really coupled well with the projects that were many art-centered, music-centered, but how witness and really proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ is important through the art. People are led, perhaps are attracted to the arts or through performance, but that because it is church music, that ultimately there is a reason why this music stands out there as a beacon and a call to help tell the story and to spread the gospel.
I think throughout the week, from each plenary to each lunchtime conversation to each lecture kind of conversation to each discussion with the individual congregations and workshops, we were able to develop a common vocabulary that defined how, in this case, we're talking about worship and hearing the glad sounds of worship, how those things are happening in new and vital ways in our congregations.